They can communicate a threat that way. Look at his tail.
When I was a little girl, we used to go out on my uncle's boat. Dolphins would start coming up to the boat. I just fell in love. You know, they were so interactive and so interested in us, and there was just a connection here for me. They just have an emotional capacity as a mammal, a marine mammal in the ocean. So whales and dolphins in general, their interaction with each other, they're very social, just like humans are. And so I love that. I love the idea that we could connect with those animals and that we could learn from them because of how intelligent they are. They're definitely the reason that I got into the marine science field.
I specialize in natural history documentaries and photography and just storytelling in general. I'm also a writer. Particularly during the pandemic, we've spent a lot of time outside. One of the things that we realized during that time is just how abundant the dolphins are. We would go kayaking in the back river or elsewhere around Tybee. And I mean, I have yet to go out on a kayak and not see dolphins. It's a lot of fun because you know they're going to be here. You have a lot of opportunities to experiment and play around.
The coast of Georgia in general for bottlenose dolphins were very special. They do a behavior called strand feeding. And so this behavior is only really exhibited here and in South Carolina because of our tidal swing. You know, we have a very large tidal swing, 6 to 11 feet in height every single day. And that tidal swing provides at a lower tide a very, very wet, sandy, muddy intertidal zone. So these animals, it's a cooperative behavior. It's one of the coolest things about them is they've learned this from each other and they've learned to work together to herd a group of fish, but it's only really here in South Carolina and in Georgia because our tide allows for that behavior.
That's incredible.
Well, we have about 300 estuarine year-round dolphin that come in here. There's a lot of protection from their predators like great sharks. So they're quite safe back in here, and it's a great area to feed. It's a good area to sleep. It's definitely a protected area, and the food is plentiful. And that was lobtailing, when that one just took its tail fluke and slammed it down. That's something they do sometimes to get rid of me or to communicate with another dolphin.
They can communicate a threat that way. Oh, look at his tail. What's that all about? What are you doing?
They only sleep with one side of their brain. And so when they're up near the surface, one half of their brain sleeps and the other side stays awake and reminds them to come up and take a breath every 20, 30 minutes. They're a conscious breather, which is pretty impressive.
We're bringing kids in all the time and teaching them about these animals that are right out here in this ocean. I'll ask them on the time on the beach, do you think a dolphin or a shark is right out here? And they say no. And I'm like, well, what is this water? And this is the ocean, and this is where they live, right? So these animals that, you see in these movies and these shows, they're right out here in your beach when you're putting your feet in the water. They're right there with you. So we are very big in the education. Savannah State is where I got my degree, and they have that, we called it the SUDS lab, the Savannah State University Dolphin Sciences Lab. So they're actively doing research on the behaviors of our bottlenose dolphins around here. We're also permitted through the Department of Natural Resources, so we are part of the conservation going on along the coast. So if there is a dolphin, stranded right out here, we're going to be responding to that event. We are permitted through the state to do those types of things as well. But the most important thing for those animals, for all animals out in nature, is to admire them and love them, but do it from that distance, because even though we think that it's sweet for us, a lot of times we're doing that animal more harm than good by trying to interact with them.
You can inspire people to, at the very least, learn more about it and learn what they can do, and at most, just inspire action. So I would say that's sort of my goal as a science communicator. And then selfishly, to just keep telling stories about science, because it's a lot of fun.
The most important thing to me is taking people out in small numbers and connecting them with nature, and then having an aha moment. That's what I like.
Hi, I'm Alli, and this is Only on Tybee Island.